I am drinking some cherry cordial from Mossy Ledge Spirits in Etna, Maine. Very tasty. Yep. It's a cool little distillery, not too far outside of Bangor where I grew up. I went there, I don't think on my last trip to Maine, but the trip before that. And my brother had told me about them. Anyway, quite cool. If you're ever in Etna, Maine, or heading into Bangor off of Route 2, it's not too far off of Route 2. When I mention Jim Henson, what do you think about? You think about the Muppets. Well, this isn't a Muppet, this is a Fraggle. You think about Muppets and Fraggles and the Dark Crystal. That's what I think about is the Dark Crystal. And Labyrinth, which folks love. And that's great. I grew up watching Sesame Street and The Muppet Show. I absolutely loved it. I still love The Muppets. Jim Henson was a massively important artistic figure in my youth. What you might not think of is his sort of pre-Muppets, I'll go so far as to call them like experimental films. And I'm going to admit, I haven't seen them. But I've seen clips, and they look, very, very 1960s, very experimental film, the kind of thing that you would imagine Peter Fonda and a young Jack Nicholson and those kind of guys all having a blast making and watching and distributing among their weird friends. So there's Tale of Sand. This was never made into a film. It was apparently discovered, I don't know, I read the story in here and I've already forgotten, but apparently the sort of script and breakdown by Henson and his longtime partner, Jerry Jewell, writing partner. The script was discovered at some point, and I don't know what the whole process was. Again, I'm sure it's in the introduction. But Ramon K. Perez ended up bringing this script to a format of a graphic novel. And I remember I picked this up when it first came out because I saw the art and I thought it was gorgeous. The colors and the whole thing is very cool. And I like the kind of, vaguely just trippy kind of weirdness to it. And I'm a big Jim Henson fan. So I bought this when it first came out, probably, I don't know, like 12, 15 years ago. Exactly, I can't remember when it came out. And it's still available. You can still get it. It's still in print. Yeah, I don't see the date because I'm looking on the wrong page. Came out in 2011. So, yeah, about 13 years ago at this point. I read it and I was like, like reading through, I'm like, well, this isn't much of a script or a screenplay. This wasn't going to make a movie. And because when I was reading it, I didn't understand that it was a script or screenplay. One, probably just a treatment, probably just an earlier draft. I'm not sure that it was like ready for prime time, but it would have been for an experimental short film, not for a feature-length film. And I think I was looking for a story that would make sense as a feature-length film. That's not what this is. So what is Tale of Sand? It is up for interpretation to cheat and say that. What does it mean to you? But to me, this feels like a young-ish man exploring what it is like to be a man. It feels very much like that kind of a story, a man's quest for himself and for his position. I know that sounds all hoity-toity and whatever, but, there's a lot of fiction about men, but there's not necessarily a lot of fiction about the sort of existential, confused dread of being a man. And I think in particular that being a man in the late 50s and early 60s, especially being a creative, that there is just this strange thing where you're expected to know how to do everything while the world around you refuses to explain how anything works. You know, you're given a quest and no map. You've got all the expectations heaped upon your shoulder, but you don't know what they are. And that's, I think, what this is sort of about. And reading it again now, and I don't know if, I mean, this is a guy writing when he was much younger than me. And I probably read it closer to the age he was when he wrote it. And I say they, Jim Henson and Jerry Jewell wrote it. I didn't really get it, but I feel like I get it a little bit more now because I've been a little more contemplative and a little more thoughtful about the confusion of masculinity in certainly in American culture and I'm sure beyond. The weird dichotomy or whatever of you don't know anything but you should know, and I thought that this captured that very well. It also captures the kind of strange position you're in as a creative person who is being told constantly how you should be a creative person. People who are not creative, they want what you have, and they really want to tell you how to do it, but they don't want to listen to you. They just want you to make what they want, and they think they know how that works. So, I feel like that's kind of what this is getting at, maybe, or at least that's certainly what I took from it. I took from it that just confusion. You throw around phrases like this and it's like ridiculous, but it is that kind of Kafkaesque thing. I think of The Trial. I think of, the film version of The Trial with Anthony Perkins. I think he captures it so well, and I think be a good companion piece to this in a sense. He doesn't even know what's going on, but everyone wants answers. Like he doesn't even know what the questions are. And I feel like that's really kind of what Tale of Sand gets at. At least that's what I took from it. Anyway, Tale of Sand from, I think this company has changed hands. I think they may just be an imprint of a larger company now. I don't know. But they did a lot of Jim Henson stuff back around 2010, 2011. I think they published, the Spraggle Rock comic is from them. And again, I feel like the imprint, maybe they got bought by somebody. I don't know. But this is still available. You can still get it. And I would recommend it. It's really interesting. And I think going into it the second time and understanding, like, this is a short film script. This is not supposed to be a feature-length picture. This doesn't have that kind of grand scope. I could imagine this being like a 15, 20-minute, 25, 30-minute short film. And it would be kind of neat to see it made, but I think it works very well as a graphic novel. And I mean, Ramon Perez's work is gorgeous. And the color schemes are fantastic. I love it. And again, very mid-century. I like that kind of aesthetic, I guess. Anyway, check it out. Check out my links below. I have done a written review of this, which I will try to get my head out of my butt long enough to link it in the section below. Otherwise, check out what you will. And if you're in Maine, check out Mossy Lodge Spirits in Etna. That's got to be pretty close to Dixmont. Yeah. So that's it for me. Take care.